Here we are, Aesop's Fables, the stag at the pool. A stag one summer day came to a pool of clear, still water to quench his thirst. As he drank, he noticed his reflection in the pool and could not help admiring the image that he saw there. You see the stag? See with the horns and everything? And there's the pool. He sees this image. I'm really very handsome, said he to himself. I should be proud of those beautiful, stately antlers, but those spindling legs and tiny feet are another matter. I wish that nature might have been more kind to me and had given me legs more worthy to bear such a noble crown. Just at that moment, the stag's sensitive nostrils scented the approach of a hunter, and even as he lingered, an arrow whizzed past him. With a bound he was away, and the legs and feet of which he had just been so critical carried him speedily to a place of safety. But once out of harm's way, the stag again fell to musing over his appearance, and before he knew it, he had wandered into a thicket. The noble antlers, he had so greatly admired, now held him fast, and the more he struggled, the more firmly entangled he became. Then the hunters came, and as the arrow found its mark, he gasped, now that it is too late, I realize that my own vanity led to my undoing. There he is. The stag is now in the thicket there. Too often we despise the very things that are the most useful to us. The travelers and the bear. Two men were traveling together in a wild and lonely part of the country. Before they had set out on their journey, they had promised that if any danger should overtake them, they would stand by each other to the death. They had gone only a short way when a bear rushed out of the bushes and made straight for them. One of the men, quick as a flash, took to a tree and scrambled up into its branches. The other, seeing he had no time to escape, threw himself flat upon the ground, pretending to be dead. As he lay there in the dust, holding his breath, the bear came near, sniffing and smelling, and putting his muzzle close to the man's ear. Then at last, with a growl, he shook his head and lumbered away, for bears will not touch a dead body. When the animal was completely out of sight, the man in the tree slid down to the ground and somewhat shamefacedly approached his companion, who now was sitting on a stone. Well, old fellow, he said, that was a close one, wasn't it? By the way, didn't I see that bear whispering to you? What did he say when he put his mouth to your ear? Why, replied the other, looking his companion straight in the eye, it was no great secret. He just told me that the next time I should not place any faith in the word of a cowardly knave like you. Don't trust a friend when he is liable to desert you when trouble comes. Ah, very good. Okay. Next story. The father and his two daughters. A man who had two daughters gave one in marriage to a gardener and the other to a potter. After the weddings, the daughters departed with their husbands to their new homes, and the father was left alone. The following spring, the father went to visit the daughter who married the gardener. How fares it with you, daughter? He asked. Oh, very well indeed, she replied. We have everything we want. I have but one wish, and that is that we have a heavy shower to water all our growing plants. Later, the father visited the daughter who had married the potter. And how is everything with you, daughter? He inquired. There is not a thing we lack, said she. My only hope is that this fine weather and hot sun may continue so that all our tiles may be baked. Alas, said the father, if you must have fine weather and your sister must have rain, what am I to pray for myself? You can't please everybody. And finally, the tortoise and the eagle. The tortoise, once upon a time, was not the contented fellow that he is today. There was a time when he wished with all his heart that he could fly. As he watched the birds disporting themselves in the clouds, he felt sure that if he could get up into the air, he could soar with the best of them. One day he called to an eagle who was hovering overhead. Friend eagle, you are the best flyer among all the birds. If you will teach me to fly, I will bring you all the treasures of the sea. The eagle replied, But you are asking the impossible, friend Tortoise. In the first place, you have no wings, and in the second, nature never intended you to fly. But the tortoise kept pleading and promising greater and greater reward, so finally the eagle said that he would do the best he could. Telling the tortoise to hang on, he bore him high into the sky. Then he loosed his hold upon the now thoroughly frightened tortoise and cried out, "All right, start flying." The, the poor tortoise, however, dropped like a plummet and was dashed to pieces on the rocks below. Ow! Vanity carries its own punishment. That's pretty smart. What a gruesome story, but that's pretty smart. All right, there you go. That's it for Aesop's Fables. Bye for now.